We're holding in page Kuf Mem Aleph.
Is going to be like a malka?
Ooh, there's going to be a malka.
But
They got us. Did they get a choshev, a person to Fabrein?
I know him. I used to see him by the Rebbe all the time.
Who's got it for rain?
Rabbi Twersky.
Oh, yeah.
From Crown Heights.
Right.
Is he a terrific person? Oh. Is he a terrific person?
I heard that his father went to the Rebbe to try to get him away from Lubavitch. So I guess it didn't work.
I think the father in Gan Eden is having a lot of nachas.
I'm sure he is.
I think he's having a lot of nachas.
And he didn't change his levush.
He didn't change his levush. His kids also, his rankings, the eniklach and everything. No, they all keep the levush.
Why was it? Chernobyl?
His father was a Strifke Rebbe, so he was from that dynasty, right? So
he could have been a Rebbe.
He could have, right. So his brother took over.
That's his brother, Netzisrol.
Yeah,
and that's an uncle here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The which Rebbe?
The Rachmas Rifta.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I went to him. He came to me also in the Nachmavu when I said in Shir, Rachmas Rifta.
So he came to Lubavitch and he gave. Yeah. But the funny thing is, from my ancestry, there's also the Chosheves Chassidim, Rachmas Rifka Chassidim. So now our daughters are good friends. So I say, like the Neshamas, end up together, where they belong.
They go to school together, hey?
No, he's a principal, I think, in the Chabad school in Pittsburgh, whatever.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't live in Crown Heights anymore. Hey?
His son. He has kids all over, whatever. He lives in Crown Heights, rather. Okay. We're holding page Kuf Mem Aleph. You know that the Rabbi Yehuda Chosset said that there are some mitzvahs that are called like a meis mitzvah. No one knows about it. But this is like one of them. Brachos on good fragrance, on good smell. The Gemara says that Kol HaNeshama Tahal Yod Aluka, that you have to make a special bracha for a smell. And we do it every Matzah Shabbos. Why? Because the neshama is so hurt that Shabbos is out. So that's why we do the B'samim. Yet there's an absolute amaratzas when it comes to the bracha. And we're going to go through quickly in Mitzvah Shem here in Perek Yud Aleph, the halachas. And then we're going to Mitzvah Shem continue in the halachas of Havdalah and Hilchos Shabbos. Let's do again. Halacha Gimel we did last week, and I want to do it quickly again. If it's a fruit that you can eat, regardless if the fruit grows in the tree or on the ground, you make a bracha on the fragrance. Nobody
make a bracha on a tapuch.
Nobody?
That's why it's...
that's why we're learning the halachas. Now...
That's Shmulik. It's because the next in the Torah...
Right. So let's...
Everybody is doing that. So
right. True. Let's learn... Right, exactly. Okay. Right. David is right. But, theoretically, if you went to a store or you went into a field and you smelled...
delicious...
Reach tapuchim, like Yitzchak said... Chakal Tavuchin Kaddish, you walked into the Chakal Tavuchin Kaddish, then you make a bracha. He took it with his hand to eat it. And the smell goes into his nostril. He makes no bracha on this reich. He didn't pick it up in order for the fragrance to go into his nose. He picked it up to eat. Unless he does an action that he picks up with his hand the fruit from wherever it is and he brings it closer to his nose to smell it. Then he makes the bracha and later he makes the bracha and he eats it.
What is a Priyadama?
What kind of good things are Bori Priyadama that have a great smell?
That you want to smell it first before you eat it.
Nothing comes to mind now. But I mean, just theoretically, something that's Bori Priyadama.
A lemon.
Lemon is Bori Priyadama.
I understand, but you might want to just smell it.
No, but he's asking what kind of fruit is a brachas Bori Priyadama if you eat it, yet it has a terrific smell, and you'd make a bracha shenos anechte b'peiros.
What?
So I don't know, but I'm sure there is. I don't know an example. Banana doesn't have that type of smell. Some of the berries might. Some of the berries might have. Some of the berries might have. Yeah, it could be. Okay. The Mishnah Berurah says that if you walk into a store and there's fruits and it's a delicious aroma, or you go into, or you walk into Chakal Tapuchin Kadishin, you don't make a bracha. He says only when you pick it up to smell it. Alter Rebbe clearly doesn't hold that way. The Alter Rebbe holds that every fruit, as we'll see more specifically later in Halacha Ches and in Halacha Yud, clearly the Alter Rebbe holds that this is called Larecha Vida, fruits. As well, the Alter Rebbe is going to explain, when people plant trees for fruits, the main thing is to eat the apples, the orange, the grapefruits, the lemons.
Not for the smell.
Be'ikir, but also for the smell. Is be'ikir, why do we have fruits?
To eat.
To eat. But also to smell. Also to smell. Also to smell. So therefore, if you go into a place and then there's fruits there and it smells good, you make a bracha. Elamai, if the person picks it up in his hand
To eat
it, so now it becomes lav l'recha avida. And there's a golden rule in the Gemara that every time the fruit is lav l'recha avida, the fragrance is lav l'recha avida. As we'll learn later. Even real basamim, the best basamim in the world, if you put it in a storage house, because it was physically picked up and put there lav l'recha, not for smell, that's it, no brach. So now that he picked it up to eat it, so now it's lav l'recha avida, it's not for smell. That answers your shayla. Most of the time we pick up fruits to eat. That's why. Once you pick up a fruit to eat, that's it. It becomes lav l'recha avida. Right. It becomes lav l'recha avida, that's it. It's not shaykh to make a bracha. But that the Alter Rebbe has a kunz, which is not mentioned in the other poskim. L'chayr, everyone would agree with this. That if after you picked it up, you did a maisa. There's the golden rule. Maisa moitzim midei maisa, ve'in machshava moitzim midei maisa. An action destroys a previous action, but a thought is not powerful enough to destroy an action. We're in a world of maisa, of action. So if you did one action, the other action could destroy the first one. Machshava doesn't. So once you picked it up with your hand, with the das, that you're not smelling, you're eating it, that's it. It's lav l'recha vida.
In other words, I give a bite, I made a bracha, I give a bite, and then I want to smell also.
Then you have to change your position. If you're still eating it, you didn't. That's
I bite it. Now I want to smell.
Now you pick it up. You make a special maisa.
So it's a second maisa.
So that maisa is mevatel that original machshava. But if you did nothing, you just walked into a place and there's delicious apples and delicious.
You don't make a bracha.
You do make a bracha. Only when you make a bracha if you picked it up. Al das la'ochloi. So now we say it's lav l'recha avida. But if you walked into a store like this specialty fruit store on Coney Island,
Orchard.
Yeah, Orchard. Yeah.
I can't afford to go with them.
Yeah, but you could go there to smell.
I cannot.
They don't charge. You could go in there.
In Coney Island.
And that's a mutadik smell. So it's not a problem. So Oibazoi, the Alter Rebbe holds, again, clearly, the Alter Rebbe holds that all fruits are l'recha avida. are made for good fragrance. And therefore, if you smell it, you make a bracha. The only exception is if you pick it up to eat, now it becomes lav l'reicha vida. Now you picked it up, you did an action, you made it lav l'reicha vida. But another action, if you pick it up again, or even still in your hand, but you move it again closer to your nose, al das, to smell.
Oh, it's a bracha.
Now it's back l'reicha vida, it's back to square one, you make a bracha. That's the Alter Rebbe's shita. The truth is that with the Alter Rebbe's shita,
But why do we have some? I mean, it can't be yoitza with that.
What do you want to ask?
It's not Nogia, but I know in Sukkot it says, do not broche and the esrog.
Excellent.
Because you want it dafka to the broche, not
gewaldig. We're later going to have, in Aloche Ches, Amachloikis, if you make a brocha, if you smell the esrig on Sukkot. If you make a brocha or not. One opinion says, no, it's lav l'reicha vida. Why did you buy the esrog?
to make a brocha on it.
To do the mitzvah. So it's a lav l'reicha vida. Okay. The Mishnah Brura says, and the Gura Paskins that way, and that Alter Rebbe also, it says that therefore toiv not to smell it all the days of the Chag. Don't smell it.
Don't go into the machloikes.
Don't smell it. Don't
Only
smell
of
it.
it as a mitzvah.
Because if you smell it, it's a machloikis. If you have to make a bracha, it's not to make a bracha, so don't smell it. That's it. Kol shiva.
You smell it, schmecken?
Huh?
Schmeckt das
Yeah, schmecken. Nicht schmecken. Nicht schmecken. That's what we're going to have in Aloche Ches very soon. So the Mishnah Brura asks a poshta kasha, and he doesn't have an answer. He was a big tzorachin at the end. That's why he paskins lakula. He says that. But a long pilpul doesn't have an answer. He says, I don't understand. You tell me a fruit. What's different than any fruit? Any fruit is lav l'reicha vida. But now that you picked it up to smell,
You made it
l'reicha vida. So now an esrog. I'm not doing the mitzvah. It's later, 2 hours later.
But
Okay.
you made it now to smell.
And now I picked up the esrog to smell, not for the mitzvah. He says, I understand. If a person picks up the mitzvah, a mitzvah is so choshev that everything else falls to the side. Okay, but now I did the mitzvah already. I did the mitzvah and I just want to pick up the smell. So why is the esrog different than the apple?
Right.
He has no answer. A tzorechiyun, a big pilpul tzorechiyun. This whole kasha is only a kasha because if you start the sugya this way, the Alter Rebbe is not a kasha. The Alter Rebbe says here, and it'll say later in Aloche Ches and Aloche Yud, all fruits are l'reicha vida. People plant trees because they want to have the pleasure of a good gishmak of fruit, not only to eat, but the good smell. All fruits are l'reicha vida. When the Rosh and the Tosfos and the Shulchan Aruch said, then you picked it up la'achloi, it's not l'reicha vida because you picked it up to eat. You destroyed everything. But if you didn't do anything, you walked into the room, and there's fruits, the fruits are l'reicha vida. So what are you asking Akasha? Because the esrog is different. I bought the esrog for doing the mitzvah, so now it's lav l'reicha vida, and therefore you don't make a bracha. It's not lachil, it's not l'reicha. Now we understand. So according to the Alter Rebbe, it's very clear. So again, lamaisa, what does the Alter Rebbe hold? The Alter Rebbe holds any fruits that have a good smell, you make a bracha. The only exception is if you... The only exception is if you pick it up la'achloi. If you pick it up la'achloi, that's it. You destroyed it. But if you didn't pick it up la'achloi, if you walked into a room, or if you picked it up to smell it, you make a bracha shenos ne'ech tova peiris. Which apples don't usually have a reach, but l'choira Yitzchak said that he smelled reach. Yeah, and yeah, Zechariah. The emes is Tosfos asked. There's a Tosfos, I think, in Shabbos and Peiches over there. It says that the Yidden have a good smell like steak tapuchim. Tosfos says they never smelled and say tapuchim. So Tosfos answers that tapuchim could mean asroigim, but that's good on the Gemara over there. But over here we say tapuach ve'esrik. Right. So you can't say tapuach means esrik.
The truth is when you bake an apple, it smells very good.
When you bake an apple tack, it smells very good.
You make an apple pie, it smells very good. So all these things is
emes. Also, you have to realize.
So in other words, you have to warm up to get out the smell.
Right.
Regular it doesn't smell.
Regular doesn't smell.
Right.
Also, we have today very Amo when they came to America, there were hundreds and hundreds of different types of apples, and they were not even edible. They were very chomutz. They were very sour. and they used to make apple cider. And the early settlers in Americas, they had a contest. The farmers had a contest, and every year farmers would bring their apple, and the most tastiest, delicious apple would win. One year, Mr. Granny Smith, his apple won. So Alam gepflanzt Granny Smith. Von dem gewonnen the Granny Smith. Granny Smith is a name of a farmer that won the contest. I'm not kidding. I'm telling you. Yeah. So after Granny Smith won, so they say, "Oh, Granny Smith, Kamenessen." But Rube, like if you just keep on planting and you don't work hard on planting dafka, Mr. McIntosh won 1 year. So again, so they work, but naturally, if you just take seeds and you put in apples, every year you're always going to get different variation. And some of them are very sharp.
In the country, they have apple trees that you can't eat.
And right, so those of them might have a stronger smells, a stronger reach. Maybe the state Tapuchim that we're talking about by Yitzchak is talking about those apples that are very strong. They're not edible. They're not Macintosh or Granny. Oh, the smell is taka good, but you can't eat it. You can make apple cider. You can make lachaim from it, but you can't. Yeah.
Was that better? Can machen am nächsten Tag so better. Was that better? Noch besser. Noch besser.
Lemons schmecken sehr gut.
Jetzt einmal gemacht, aber Lemons ist noch besser.
Okay.
Nach mein Ernst.
Ja.
Macht so gut.
Okay. Es kann sein, so da noch etliche.
Alles da geht rein. Macht ich Buch auf Grund.
On Yom Tov and on Yom Kippur, which bring to the shul lemon with some somim.
Good, that's a making of some.
Some of you make not like pears.
Yeah. The fact that the Menschen machen nicht kein Reihe, weil Menschen wissen nicht, aber
there are fruits that have a good smell.
right.
You cut
More in the
into them
citrus
with a
family,
knife.
right.
A mango. Well, I think the Macintosh apple is very smells very nice.
I like the way it tastes.
Yeah, that's the best apple to smell.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Afilu pri she'ein ro'el achila, ela yedei tarovis. Even if the fruit is only ro'el achila when you mix it in, im ikro omed lakach, if it's made for this reason, that means it's made to eat.
But you have to mix it with somebody.
But you got to mix it. Kegon. Kinomen, shekoiden zimmerin, vitzipoiden, shekoiden neglach.
That's right, yeah.
Zimmerin the cinnamon. Tzipoiden is neglach, which is cloves. Shoimdim latavlin betavshilin. What do you use cinnamon and cloves?
To cook.
To cook.
Only.
But it also
Cinnamon
smells
buns.
good. It
Huh?
also smells very good.
Oh.
Yeah, but you don't take a cinnamon and eat it.
But you don't take a cinnamon and eat it like this.
Right.
No.
It's a fruit. At the end of the day, it's a fruit.
Tzipor you do put in your mouth.
Who takes it?
People eat it in the neck.
It's a fruit. ויש חלקים בזה, ואומרים, שמבורך עליהם, boide atzim sam. The Alter Rebbe gives a moiridik svara of the other opinion. We don't find any of the poskim that say the svara. The Alter Rebbe's chidush. Because you can't eat it, you can't bite into this, you have to mix it in. So therefore, that's it. It's back to boide atze v'samim. It's back to boide atze v'samim, which is right. It's right. Less of a choshev bracha. It's less of a choshev bracha. Only everything that grows could be atzib samim, but re'ach tabaperes is only fruits that you can eat. Be'edya. Mesafik ish lavarich alein boide minim samim, because it's a suffix. Make boide minim samim. Sheklalos kalaminim. V'yetzav el dechavosa v'diyev the kalaminim. Chen bedavish a suffix lemin eitz of min esav. Any time that you have a suffix, if this is atzib samim, izbib samim, make boide minim samim. The master case look like shahakal. Shahakal works for everything. But Samim works for everything.
And that's the most Shabbos to make the bracha by Samim. It's not confused.
No, it's a mistake. The Alter Rebbe says it's a mistake. He says that those that make Beidim and Samim Matzah Shabbos are a mistake.
But what should we make?
You should make whatever you're supposed to make. Atzei is bay. And the Alter Rebbe says you should put into your Samim box something which is bevadai Beidim and Samim.
So you put a mixture.
But if you paskin like the Alter Rebbe, cloves. That's the din. Cloves are really boidim in samim because it's chamachloik the sapoiskim. If cloves is atzib samim, or after bapedes. So therefore, you have to make body minim samim. So according to the Alter Rebbe, if you put in clothes, which most people use today, clothes, so you're covered. Clothes are beseder.
He just write by the Seder on the Abzor. What do you write over there?
Body minim samim. But in the Shulchan Aruch he says that I want you to put inside the box a real thing that's minim samim.
So that's way
Because if it's really atzeh, say atzeh. If it's izbeh, say izbeh.
Don't mix.
Don't say. Don't make. Yeah, say shahakal on challah. You don't say shahakal on challah. You don't say shahakal on wine.
Right.
It's like saying shahakal on wine. Okay. Stam, just a little narishkeit. Look in the order Chof Aleph. You see the footnote? Turn back to the previous page. He says, "Haina b'chol yom shona." Aval b'mei asukis. What do you do with an eser grei lekamon aloch ches? U'b'yameinu she'ein noegim lechel eser kamoi shehu. Elo yedei merkachas. No one eats a esrig, a raw esrig. No one eats a raw esrig. You cook it with sugar and honey, right? So l'choyde. Dine kedina move the kaman aloch dalad vivarach Allah b'dei minei v'samen. So whoever wrote these orders is a very choshev Talmid Chacham, but I must beg to differ. I think you make a huge mistake. The Alter Rebbe writes earlier when in the halachas of fruits, the Alter Rebbe says that there are certain fruits that you can only cook it, and not only could cook it. There's the shoshana. We don't eat shoshana, but apparently there was such a thing that they used to take and they used to cook it with sugar and honey.
Yeah, rose hips.
Yeah, they eat it.
I don't know about eating it.
My grandmother made rose syrup. You cook rose petals with sugar, then you take out the leaves, you throw, and then you mix it with the water like any others.
Oh yeah.
Separate things. Yeah. Rose hips and rose petals is something else.
But the Alter Rebbe describes. The Alter Rebbe says that kagon vrodim shekoyren roizen. So the Alter Rebbe says earlier, the Alter Rebbe says in Perek Vav, is that even though you cook it with a lot of dvash, doesn't matter. It's what the ikar is not the dvash. The ikar is the roizen, the sheshanim, for those that eat the sheshanim. So the same thing here. When I think this guy got confused. There's a difference between merkachas and tavlinim. Merkachas is one din, and tavlinim is a different din. Merkachas is any fruit that you can't just eat esrig. You can't eat an esrig and a raw esrig. Even the Gemara in the end of the Zohar tells a story about how they ate raw esrogim. Who eats a raw esrig today?
You can't eat it.
That's elamai. You cook it with a lot of sugar and so whatever else, and then it's delicious, right? But what's the ikir? The ikir is the esrig.
You just schmear it. It's like
some people know. Some people have pieces. Some people eat it. They
make it.
It's like candy.
They make like a jelly.
There's more sugar than esrig in it, right?
That's why you could eat.
And that piece is like 90% sugar and 10% esrig.
Only a little bit taste of the esrig.
Right, 90.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you don't even make that. You can't make the.
See, that's why.
But they actually eat the roses?
Not the rose.
No, but rose hips.
People make it into a tea, because it's a good source of vitamins.
But Ben, seeing the rose hip, is that a fruit that has that name, or it's a part of the rose?
It's a fruit that's dry.
Oh, it's a fruit.
It's not from the actual rose. It's from a rose? Oh, it's an andazach. It's haste rose hip. But it's not a rose. It's not shoshana, which is roizen. Okay, so...
Go in a vitamin section and you'll see it says vitamin C with rose hips.
Fine. So let's summarize again. All fruits have a good smell. Then, if the fruits are cooked, it's still because the honey and the sugar is bottled to the esrog. But if it's the other way around, that it's tavlinin, not merkachas, it's like cinnamon or cloves that you put you make a chalupzi, stuffed cabbage. So you put in a teaspoon and a half of cloves, right? Or if you make what do you make with the cinnamon? What do you cook with cinnamon? Apple, yeah. So baked apples, right? So you put in a little bit of sugar and a little bit of so when you make baked apples with cinnamon, right? the ikir is the apples. The cinnamon is bottled to the apples. So over there, the Alter Rebbe says a machloikis. So it's a shaila if it's atze b'samim or reich toy b'peiris, and therefore you should make b'dei mini b'samim. So l'maisa, according to the Alter Rebbe, people that use in the b'samim box cloves or cinnamon is beseder. That's good because you make b'dei mini b'samim. That's taka what you're supposed to make b'dei mini b'samim.
I see some people take mamash Motzei Shabbos cinnamon and make b'dei b'samim.
That's good. Or cloves also good. Cinnamon or cloves and b'dei good. Cinnamon and cloves and b'dei good.
Cloves is tzipomen, you know?
Yeah. Those are both, according to the Alter Rebbe, they're both good. Mashenkin, according to the Shulchan Aruch, the Mishnah Brura, the way paskins, so then it's not, because they paskin that kenila klau, which is tzimmerin and neglach, which is tzipoiren, is rechter b'peiris. So a person that taking Motzei Shabbos, according to the Shulchan Aruch or the Mishnah Brura, so he's doing the wrong thing. Yeah, but man legt das rein in der Meichel. But the Alter Rebbe is halt as hamachloikes, and the Rebbe is machen bei dem in Samem. Okay, it's good. The Shulchan Aruch halt, no, man esst das, lepar man legt das rein essen, man esst das. So, according to the Alter Rebbe, actually, it works out very good that people that...
can machen, what, das
is the halt of Shulchan Aruch. The Alter Rebbe... No, alright. The Alter Rebbe halt is a sofik. Man soll machen bei dem in Samem. Dalet. Vrodem Shem Sheshanim. Shkoren Roizen. Hagedelen Bekarke. We're on page Kuf Mem Dalet. And Aloche Dalet. Move Beis, I'm sorry. Kuf Mem Beis. Vrodem Shem Sheshanim. Shkoren Roizen. Hagedelen Bekarke. Mevorich Anichem Oirei Izbe Vesamem. Hagedelen Bo Ilon. Mevorich Boirei Atze Vesamem. Afa Pesharom Lachil Mekachas. Even though you could eat them because it's not the ikir thing that they use roses for is not to eat, but if their ikir inyan would be to eat, then you would make the bracha a higher level bracha. You'd make levatava pedis because the ikir is not to eat. The ikir kavana is laoriach, so therefore you make isbib samim or atzeh b'samim. Halacha hey, chol she'ein loy min eitz v'loy esef. It's not an eitz, it's not an esef. Kagon amor v'hu musk shekodim pizum b'loshen ashkenaz. Ha'yotze mechatoy teres she'vetzavar chaya yadua she'metzkava shem tchiluk min dam v'achkech mesyavesh v'nasam min ha'moir. We spoke about this yesterday. There's a chaya called Yadua. And it's Maisa Oivi Yadoini, which is Sholosh Klippus Atmeis, a terrible thing. And over there's a gland. And over there, in the gland is a liquid which is considered dam. And that liquid dries up.
It smells good.
And then, musk is considered avi avois of all the good, of all the good shmeckers, of all the fine shmeckers. Yeah, it's considered it's mavorach harecha by the minim samim. Says the Alter Rebbe, apparently people use... It's sehr wenig. It's like it's expensive. And man macht falsche Mosk. Man macht nicht der Emerson Mosk. Man macht von chemicals. V'yesh matirim. Those that says it's mutter. The Alter Rebbe says, Bal nefesh yachmer latzim v'sofa shel toira. It's mash...
Smell it to eat it.
To eat it. Who's going to eat it? But whatever. Apparently, some people like I said yesterday, a teaspoon and a half in your brisket. So the Alter Rebbe says that really it's mutter to eat. This is an interesting shaila. This goes into a lot of the modern shailas, the mushal gelatin, right?
What's
so,
gelatin?
The jelly rings. There's jelly. There's chocolate covered jelly rings, yeah. Or you have chocolate covered marshmallows.
What is it made out of?
What is it made out of? So they cook.
Sugar.
It's sugar, but there's something else in there. Gelatin. What's a gelatin?
Made from a behemoth.
Oh, which behemoth? From Satmar Shchita, from Lubavitch Shchita, which behemoth?
They have already. They make synthetic.
Today.
Here in America, they only use the fowls. The what's his name? Shimon Idol or something had a company that made marshmallows, Elion, from Fleischig, Rav Kotlis he had, but
so the Gedolei Yisrael, a lot of Gedolei Yisrael,
they used the fake,
right? They use the fat, they use fish also.
Then you go into trouble when you eat it, you're fleshy.
No, they said Pirsha B'Alma. It's a new Metzias. It's not anymore. It's a garnish because they cook it and it's already. It's not anymore flesh. It's nothing. They would cook to treif and a behemoth. They cook the bones, and from the bones there's just like pecha. Like in the bone, there's something that makes things to congeal. Yeah, it makes a jelly. Just like today, you go to the store and you buy from the cow feet and you cook it and you put in the nasach knobel mit alle gute Sachen and then you leave it sitting in the refrigerator. It's a vet pecha. So
but that's fleshig.
Oh, that's fleshig because you're cooking the pieces. Faglivet. Good. Your Yiddish is good. Yeah. So the American pecha is jelly rings. That's the Americana pecha. It's the same thing. It's from the jelly of the bones. So a lot of Gedolei Yisrael said that's not treif. It's already it became Pirsha B'Alma, and it's not edible. It's a garnish. So therefore it's mutter. Today most companies that are selling kosher marshmallows and kosher jelly rings,
or Jello, which is a dessert,
right? Yeah. They're not using the emesa gelatin,
right?
But there are people that go with the heter. I'm saying this is like this thing of Pirsha B'Alma has a lot of things that today are you don't know. Do you think that this is like a bottle of such delicious food? It comes with some treif and achaya, has here. Or blood, and they spin it in some centrifuge, and this chemical and that chemical and another chemical, and then they mix it. So at some point, it loses its previous mitzias, and it becomes a new thing. Just like the Gemara says, that like we spoke about it last night, that the ksheder sheyonkem and atreifa, it's Pirsha B'Alma. The milk comes from a treif and a behema. But we say it becomes Pirsha B'Alma. It's not the milk anymore. It's perish, and therefore it's mutter. And you're allowed to take this as rennet and put it into and make kosher cheese. Yeah. So the same thing here. The Rabbeinu Yonah says that this was taket dam, but now it turns into Pirsha B'Alma. It's not dam anymore. So tzamach loikis. The Alter Rebbe says b'sofek bal nefesh should be machmir b'sofek shel Torah.
When the Alter Rebbe writes bal nefesh yachmir, meaning it's also.
No. It's mashma that really it's mutter. Really it's mutter. Elamai, if you're a bal nefesh, yachmir la'atzmai.
La'atzmai.
Yeah, la'atzmai, v'zichalai, yeah. That's what it's mashma. In other words, the Alter Rebbe is noite l'kula, but l'maisa, he says a bal nefesh should be machmer. Aloch avot, shemen, shepitma b'fsamim, if it's an oil...
Nein, hat tun usalachle. Dam.
Yeah, but er sagt Baal Nefesh Yachmel Atzmai. Yeah, verkehrt, but er sagt doch Baal Nefesh Yachmel Atzmai ist Mashma, aber nicht kein Baal Nefesh. Darf nicht.
Jeder hat ein Nefesh.
Ah?
Jeder hat ein Nefesh.
Hallo Chavav. Shemen shepitna b'psamim. If it's a shemen that was fortified with psamim, pitum aktoides, yeah? Ketzad. That they took the shemen with a lot of psamim. Im yesh mamoshes haboisem b'shemen. If there's pieces of the boisem in the shemen, mevarach areich Hashem kebechas haboisem. You make on the smell of the shemen like whatever the boisem. It's atziv samim, izbev samim. Bimsinanim Hashem alagamre. If they took everything out, they cleaned out the oil. The liquid here has no remnants of pieces of flowers, of atzeh, izbev samim. Nothing's left in this oil, in this liquid. And there's only the reach in the shemen. Some people say shmavorach moide bin psamim. If you make a bracha moide bin psamim. V'yesh lochush ledivreim. And you have to be choshish for their words. Okay, so the Rebbe Avram Chaim Noah writes that he's mesupek what's the pshat in the Alter Rebbe's words. There is a double machloikus here. There is a machloikis if you what should be the bracha. Should the bracha be atzib samim Or now that you took away all the eitzim, maybe it should be minei v'samim.
Well, meaning you go down by the...
Yeah, because you don't see eitzim here. You don't see flowers in here. There is one shita that holds no, that you don't make a bracha altogether. So when the Alter Rebbe says v'yesh lochush for what? Is it the shaila is atzib samim or minib samim v'yesh lochush, instead of making atzib samim, make minib samim? Or does it mean yesh lochush means I don't know, should make a bracha, not a bracha, yesh lochush, and therefore don't smell it? So Rabbi Avram Chaim Noah says that he's mesupik. I'm not mesupik. I think it's clear to me. It's like Boruk Hashemish what the Alter Rebbe meant. If the Alter Rebbe meant yesh lochush and not to smell it, like you'll see later, for example, Halacha Yudalef, the Alter Rebbe is going to say Toiv lochush v'leminoya mali riach b'hem. If that's what the Alter Rebbe knows how to speak, and the Shem Avdik, if he wanted to say something, he will say it. It's inconceivable to me that that's the right shot. I think there's beyond any doubt in my mind that the Alter Rebbe meant that there's a machloikis if it's atzeb samim or minib samim. So therefore, yesh lochush l'devreim. You should be choshish for the opinion that says boyri minib samim.
What he says in Nun Aleph.
This is I told you what he's saying now in Nun Aleph. But the Bada Shulchan throws in like I don't know what he's talking about. Aval ma'im aneschotim ha'boisem, water that gets squeezed out of the boisem. Harei hoim ke mamoshus ha'boisem. They are.
What is perfume? Perfume is mine.
Oh, the shayla. I'll tell you in a second what today. Harei hoim ke mamoshus ha'boisem. If you squeezed out water from the boisem, you squeezed it out from the flowers, or squeezed it out from the whatever it is. That's like the boisem itself. Everyone will agree. Everyone will agree that even in this line, you see what the Alter Rebbe meant when he said earlier v'yesh lochush. The Alter Rebbe says, if you're going to squeeze the water out of the boisem, which divrei hakol? Which divrei hakol? Obviously, we're talking about the previous machloikis. There is a machloikis if it's atzib samim or minib samim. One opinion holds it's atzib samim because even though you took out the eitzim from the shemen, it's considered like mamashas haboisem is still there. The other opinion says no, the mamashas haboisem left. So the Alter Rebbe continues, over here, divrei hakol, let him come mamashas haboisem. I don't know what Rabbi Avram Chaim Noah is talking about. וכן הריח שרוף הנויטף מהעצם כמו לבוינה והמצטקמי מבורך עצי וסום. Stop. Let's look for a second. Just an interesting, just lamaisa, like look over here in the order memtes. You see, alinya meim boisem amotze biyamenu koso poiskez manenu. שאין לבורך עליהם כי משרובם עשויים את הרכובת סינתטיים על ידי הפרודות כימיים של כימיקלים שיקום יש בהם ריח רע ורק באופן מלאכותי משנים אותם בריאוסם והפכים ריחם לריח טוב ורי זה כדין ריח שאין להיקה שמבורכים לו כמובן הלוך יודעל טעם זה גם הם מבורכים על טבק ששפם בחויתם כי אבקס הטבק עשויים מעולם מיובושם שאין בהם ריחם ומבוסם מזל פרמותיכם מבויסם נויצר ריח הטוב של הטבק וכיוון שבדרך כלל מהבויסם נספק מתחייב מסייבשים הריח ריח שאין להיקה והם מבורכים שאין מבורכים עליו. Okay. So, whatever, we already discussed it. How does he know that the Alter Rebbe, so machloikas hapoiskim today. So how does he know, like, but then there's another issue. You know, it's hashgacha pratis, everything that's in life, right? The Rebbe tells a story in a Fabrengen that once that Rashi was you know, when Rashi was on the road and he heard a noise, it's a horse. He looked up and he saw a woman was riding on the horse, and Rashi felt terrible that why he looked at a woman. Good. Then years later, Rashi was writing his pirush on the Chumash, and the shaila was how the ephod looked. There's a lashon Rashi libi oimerli or something like that. That soris kederech shanoshim asoris Asores roichvois alasus. So then, when Rashi realized it was Hashgacha Pratis, the Eibishter wanted that he should look at this woman, the way she was dressed, riding on the sus, so he would know the tziur of what it is.
It's for Kedusha, not for Klippa.
Yeah. So, because the Eibishter knew that I'm going to have the Shaila in my mind, so I was with my wife in France, in the south of France, and we were driving, and then we saw this big place, whatever, it was a sign, French, in French, but it looked interesting, so we drove in there, and it was a factory of perfume. Perfume, yeah, France, that's their big thing. Yeah. There was no one there in the factory. It was beautiful, gorgeous, and they gave us a tour, 45 minutes, show us how they collect. They showed us there's all kinds of fields there with beautiful flowers, and they go out and they collect the flowers in big bins, and they put them in these things and they cook them, and after they cook them they crush them, and Mama, it's like making mashke, and then they.
I'm just curious, was this place Occitane? Was it an Occitane?
I don't remember the name. It was outside Nice. It was like an hour, half-hour drive.
There's where I worked on 10 East 39th Street years ago, there was a company from perfume. It's called L'Occitane, because it's a place somewhere in the south. In fact, I think it might even be given that.
So they showed us exactly. They have these big, vats, and they cook them up, and they crush them up, and then they. It's sort of similar how they make vodka, and then they cook them, and then the vapor goes up. And the vapor goes up, and then that's liquid.
They distill it.
And then whatever. And then at the end of the tour, they're selling bottles of their perfume, but they sell it all over the world. Their perfume. But why did they? So whatever. It was interesting to me. But then when now I'm learning the sugya, and I know that it's not true that everything is made synthetically. It's pashut not true. It's simply not true. These truvas that he's quoting is Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach and Rav Eliyashiv, they were very choshev people. Probably in Yerushalayim, they're not selling fancy perfumes that are made from real prochim.
99 cents.
Yeah, they're getting 99 cents
perfume. I'm sure that's synthetic.
Those synthetic stuff. But I'm telling you that the Davish Gemach that I should bump into this place to tell you that it's not true. Not all perfume that you buy today are made from synthetic stuff. But I have to find out. I don't know. I would assume that the big names are all synthetic, but then you have unique brands that are really made out of prochim. They're really made out of atze boisem and izbe boisem. So over there, here is a shaila. Is it considered that it was sin? Obviously, you don't see little pieces of wood floating. If you ever looked at the perfume bottles, you never see any pieces of atzei psamim or izbei psamim. It's sinanoi, right? It's super duper sinanoi. But the shaila is, so first of all, I think, so what sinanoi? The Alter Rebbe says that it's a shaila if it's atzei psamim or izbei psamim. So you should make minei psamim. I'm sorry, atzei psamim or minei psamim. You should make minei psamim. Okay, so you should make minei psamim. Anyway, I think this is not just synonym. Here we're talking about it was in a cold process. They put in atzei psamim in the oil, and it was sitting there for a few weeks, and then they took out the atzei psamim. Here it's more similar to mayim anischotim aboisam. It was done through bishul. And then the vapor goes up, and then they distill it. That's not synonym hashemen. It's not just that they took. It's like cooking a soup. It's like what bracha do you make on vegetable soup? No, adoma. It's a shaila, but the pashtus depends.
You have pieces.
Because if the whole time, well, you know what? Let's not give an example for something which is contentious, and we're going to learn about it in Mirz Hashem. But whatever. I'm just saying that this is better than when we say here that it's a suffix. If it's what's the status of it? Is because they put the aprochim in the oil. They put the flowers and the atzim in the oil, and then they took it out. But over here, when they make perfume, they don't just put it in and take it out. They cook it. So and Taka and Shulchan Aruch doesn't talk in the case of cooking it, But in the Shulchan Aruch, the Noise Kalim and the Shulchan Aruch talk about if you cook it, and the Noise Kalim say that if you cook it, then that's already different. If you cook it, it's different. So, okay, that's what I think. Anyway, that's...
When we had a fire over here, so somebody put in the kitchen over there this something and cook it. What it was?
That's mugmar. That's mugmar. It's making mugmar.
Just to make a smell of it, remember?
But that we don't make a bracha on that. You know why? Because we're going to learn about now in halacha ches why you don't make a bracha on that. You're not supposed to make a bracha on that one, and you'll learn now why. Halacha zayin. Im yesh b'teich hashemen mamoshas mishneim. In the shemen there is a little bit of both. Ma'atzei umi izvei psamim. There's a little bit of both. Mavorech boyde min psamim leave it akor. Everyone agrees because now it's both, and you can't separate it. V'chein ma'atzei izvei psamim shchukim muravim yachad be'enam b'li taruv v'shemen. It's the same thing. Mavorech arechem boyde min psamim because you can't separate it. So what should you make? Atzei izvei.
You go back to minute.
Yeah. Av le'meinam shchukim the ev shel afridam. If you could separate them. Tzarich levarech al ze b'fnei atzmai ve'al ze b'fnei atzmai. You're supposed to make a separate bracha. Remember, we learned about this a few weeks ago. Baruch Hashem yoim yoim. Al kol min v'min. You're supposed to be mishabech the Eibishter. You're supposed to shehakal ni b'dvara for everything. You're supposed to make a moitzi lechem na'oretz and b'yri pri agofen and b'yri pri adoma and b'yri pri oetz. And the same thing by boisem. There's atzib somem, there is izbib somem, there's rechter bapedes. There is separate brachas that you're supposed to make. And you have a suffix, then you make minib somem. The toiv lahakdim birchas atzei b'samem izbib somem. It's better, but it's not an obligation. V'm yesh b'neim hadas, hu mugdam lebracha. Why is hadas mugdam lebracha? Because hadas has a chashivus that we use it in the dalad minim. That's why the Alter Rebbe also brings, and we'll learn it to Mitzvah Shem in Hilchah Shabbos, that in the Pushkala for B'samim, you should try to take Hadasim from your Lulav and Esek set. You should take off a few of the Hadasim and put it into the box. Now, Alter Rebbe says, even though it doesn't have a good smell, it's a few months after. But you put other stuff into it also.
But then you go into the Minip Samim.
Alright, you put in other things, Minip Samim. Who mugdam la bracha? If he has a question between minib samim and other words, tzarich lahagdam birchas izvev samim levirchas boire mine v'samim.
First he said like lahagdam
right.
Birchas.
Before he said toiv, and here it says tzarich. It's bediuk otzum. Before he said toiv, and here it said tzarich. Why? Because really the halachas of what goes first by smell is the same thing like by food. Just like between right, Atzeh is higher than Izbei, but just like between a Boire Priya Eitz and Boire Priya Dama, it's better to say first Boire Priya Eitz. Better, but you don't must. But when you have a shahakal, and then a Eitz or a Dama, you must do first the Hadama or the Eitz. Same thing here. If it's between Atzeh and Izbei, toiv to do first Atzeh. But it's between Atzeh, Izbei, or Minei, then you must do them. You must do them first.
Then Minei.
Okay, time's up. We'll continue Mitzvah Shem next week.